Hello everybody, welcome back to another weather forecast. I'm meteorologist Aiden Leisure, and today we're going to be taking a look at the temperatures for the next couple of days, as well as some of those weather patterns we are going to be experiencing throughout the rest of the week here. Today is Tuesday. We are looking at the entire lower 48 here in this graphic, and you can see here on the big scale, a lot of moisture still up in the Pacific Northwest. That is no bueno. That was consistent with last week. And last week they were dealing with a lot of flooding up there in western Washington, so please, if you're in the Pacific Northwest, please pay attention to your weather as that moisture still sticks around. We're also going to see pieces of that kind of get ejected off of the mountains. Still, we're seeing the same pattern we had last week where we're getting all of these low pressure systems that are coming off the mountain. We are going to see blizzard conditions in the northern portions of the country, even up towards Canada there later in the week, but we are probably going to get out of it in Chicagoland. We are not necessarily going to be in a humongous winter storm pattern, rather, we're getting feet of snow. It's not going to be like that. It's actually going to remain pretty warm over the next couple of days here. And when I blow this graphic up, you can see here, you can see that low pressure system makes its way through there. It's a pretty decent sized storm. It's definitely going to dump quite a bit of snow up there in portions of Canada there above Lake Superior, but we're going to get a bit of the rain from this one. A lot of the rain's going to come through, and then it'll get on out of here once Thursday comes around. As we can see here, it'll be a couple days before we get there. Let's take a look at our temperatures for once. On the flip side here, you can see we're all above average throughout the entire graphic here. Pretty much anywhere in the green, staying above the freezing level for once here for our highs. Pretty much everywhere across the country. Out west, very warm. You can see places in the 60s, even in the 70s. Well, the bad news is that it won't last for long. As you can see here tonight, we're going to definitely get maybe into those high 20s, maybe about 30 degrees here in the suburbs of Chicago, and then up towards the single digits there in northern Minnesota, northern North Dakota, maybe even places in northern Wisconsin there, you can see are getting a lot colder, and we're still going to remain warm tomorrow. Some places still may dip below freezing. You can see here portions of northern Wisconsin, the UP and Michigan, up there towards Duluth, Minnesota. You can also see that warmth really building down here in the center of the country. And that's going to stay pretty consistent for the next 2 weeks. We're going to see a very above average pattern start to unfold in terms of temperature in the middle of the country. And when I bring this graphic forward to tomorrow night, we can see that low pressure system is starting to make its way over to us. You can see at this point, it's probably around here is where this low pressure system is setting itself up, maybe towards northern Minnesota is where that center will be. And on the backside of that, you can see all of that cold air really start to dive into the lower 48 there. Portions of North Dakota getting, again, below 0 degrees in some places, and it's going to be very windy as well on the backside of this, so please make sure you guys are weather aware and bundling up if it's going to be tragically cold in your area, so make sure you guys are watching your weather here. Oswego, let's take a look at your 5-day forecast. It's going to remain above freezing for a little bit. We're still going to freeze at night, but not necessarily going to be in the single digits in the morning necessarily. It'll be a lot more mild than that. So it's still going to be cold, still going to be the below freezing here, but we're not necessarily going to have a huge cold blast like we just had. That is not in the picture for now. But you can see by Thursday we're going to get a little more active with that low pressure system coming through. Then by Friday and Saturday we're back into our groove that we are having right now. And I do want to mention Thursday will be a little breezy in our area. It won't be necessarily high wind warnings or anything, but we're going to be seeing a little bit of a pickup in the breeze. It'll be a little bitter on Thursday, especially in the back half of that system. Once it passes through, it's going to get pretty bitter. The wind chill will eventually push that temperature down quite a ways, so make sure you guys are paying attention to that and bundling up if you're going out anywhere on Thursday. If you have any Christmas plans, a lot of people have a lot of their Christmas parties planned here in the next week or so, so please make sure you guys are traveling safe and bundling up. So let's take a look here at our severe weather risk here. You can see Pacific Northwest is really the only area that's going to be, in the marginal risk of severe weather here, and that's mainly because of that excess moisture that's going to be present in that area, and rain keeps falling up there. We're seeing record totals up there in the Pacific Northwest. It is dangerous in some places. Rivers have well exceeded their records that they have set historically. We have never seen this much water in some places up in the Pacific Northwest, and it's causing a bit of problems. You can see here as I pull this through, you see there's a 5% chance of damaging winds. So some of these storms that enter the area can actually become pretty strong and maybe even in some places increase that threshold up towards the severe storm area. So we may be seeing some severe storms up there in Pacific Northwest in those mountain valleys, especially as air moves from south to the north. It's going to make the storms that enter the area under the influence of rotation. So please make sure you guys are paying attention. As some of those storms tend to rotate, they're going to produce bigger wind gusts. Now, the tornado threat, pretty much non-existent. We're probably not going to see a tornado out of this. It's definitely just going to be a linear wind threat as storms organize on that front. Let's take a look, though, at the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, and I've really never seen anything like this, but we are pretty much in an above average pattern for the next 2 weeks, no matter where you are in the country, minus the Pacific Northwest up there, Alaska, and then even up here in the Northeast are the only places that are going to be below average, really, for the remainder of the next 2 weeks and into Christmas. So our white Christmas chances are kind of dwindling here in the Chicagoland area as we are in this warm block pattern here, where we're going to be a little warmer than we're used to seeing. It's not going to be drastically above average. It's not going to be 50 degrees on Christmas. It's not going to be something crazy like we've had in the past, but it will definitely be a little warmer, and so our chances for snow on the ground for Christmas definitely go down, as we are not going to be seeing snow really in the next week or so, and if we do, it will not be significant. So let's pull this forward here. You can see the 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook tells a little bit of a different story. If I flip between the two, you can see there are places that are going to remain hot and dry here, especially down in the southeastern portions of the country, and then western portions of the country are going to remain hot and wet. So we're going to be seeing quite a bit of precipitation on the Pacific coast, and a lot of that's going to enter areas that haven't seen rain in a very long time. So it's good that the drought is getting just a little bit alleviated, a little chunk out of that drought, which is very good. We like to see that, but not necessarily all at once, right? We don't want to see it all at once, or we're going to end up with a similar situation like in western Washington. But don't expect a whole lot of precipitation, especially in the southeast. It's going to remain pretty below average for the next 2 weeks. You guys are going to be in a more calm pattern, not necessarily going to be seeing many deep freezes either. So you guys just make sure you're weather aware out there in the Pacific coast there, especially towards California and portions of the Pacific Northwest, as you guys are going to be getting hammered with a lot of rain from the Pacific. So please make sure you're paying attention for that, especially if you guys are traveling. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next forecast.